Hi, EdibleWildFood.com here, back in the kitchen, only this time we're not making edible treats, we're making homemade elderberry cold and cough syrup. Now keep in mind that this is of course homemade, and regardless of whether you purchase a cough and cold remedy from the store or whether you make it at home, often what works for one does not necessarily always mean it works for the other. However, there's always fun in putting things together and seeing the end result. So we're going to start with the fresh picked elderberries and we're going to add them to the water. Now don't worry about the measurements right now. The link to the recipe will be in the description box below. So we've added the elderberries to the water and we're using distilled water. That's really important. Next, we're going to add the cinnamon. And then the cloves, you can use ground or fresh cloves, whole cloves. Fresh ground ginger. And finally, fresh from the garden, thyme. Fresh thyme. So now, after stirring well, we're going to bring this to a boil. Then cover it and simmer it until about half of this liquid has been evaporated. At that point, we'll come back and show you what's next. Okay, so our elderberry cough and cold syrup has finished boiling down and it has cooled enough so we can mash the berries just a little bit, we don't have to go too crazy on it here, just a little bit to release any of the last bit of nutrients and flavor. And then after that, we're going to take this wonderful syrup and strain it. We don't have cheesecloth with us right now, so we're using a very tight strainer. And look at the color of that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. So now we're going to just press out any of the last bit of liquid. And our very last ingredient to add is the unpasteurized honey. After all the honey has been added, make sure you stir it really well. And once you're finished stirring that, you can start putting it into jars. Jars of any size. We have a very large one here. However, that will be your choice whether you want to put them in multiple smaller jars or larger ones. And this will store in the fridge up to 3 weeks. Alternatively, you can take this liquid, pour it into ice cube trays, freeze them, and then store them in freezer bags for later use throughout the winter time. Elderberry cough and cold syrup. It may work for you, it may not. Either way, you can even use this as a syrup. Thank you for watching.